할리우드를 무대로 하며 탐정 활동을 이어온 남자 필립 말로.
Miss Cavendish?
Perhaps it's a first name? Cavendish?
It's a good first name.
어느 날 그에게 캐빈디시라는 여성이 찾아오는데요.
Please.
How private exactly are your investigations, Mr. Marlowe? I'd like you to find someone for me. Nico Peterson. He was my lover.
When you say disappeared, do you mean out of your life? Where was your husband, Mrs. Cavendish, when your lover, Nico Peterson, disappeared?
Do call me Cavendish without the missus. I like it.
Would it be accurate to say that Mr. Peterson would be a marginal person in motion pictures?
니코 피터슨이라는 이름의 애인, 정확히는 불륜남을 찾는 여성. 그는 잘생기고 매력적이지만 그리 안정적인 직장을 가진 것도, 그렇다고 어떤 사람인지 정체가 분명한 남자도 아니었습니다.
My father was in oil. He's dead. You'd know my mother, but we won't discuss her now.
Did you conduct your affair with Mr. Peterson at the club?
We weren't meeting in the horsesheds, Mr. Marlowe. I telephoned him a few times, no answer. And then I went to his house the following week.
What do you think has become of Mr. Peterson?
Told you I wanted a set of fresh eyes. And yours come highly recommended.
그리 많은 단서를 주진 못한 채 캐빈디시는 수수께끼의 의뢰를 맡긴 후 떠나가는데요.
My name's really Claire. You're very perceptive and sensitive, Mr. Marlowe. I imagine it gives you trouble.
그의 집부터 찾아가기 시작하며 본격적으로 니코 피터슨의 행방을 쫓는 말로.
He ain't home, Bo. He owe you dough or make time with your wife.
That's the way it is, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so.
How long has he been gone?
Well, I guess I last seen him 7 weeks ago. Yeah, you're not the first one to come around asking about him. A pair of wetbacks showed up last week. It was all gussied up. With a beaner in a suit and fancy necktie. It's still a beaner, right?
니코의 이웃에게서 그를 찾는 멕시코인들이 있었음을 알게 된 말로, 이번엔 자신의 옛 지인인 경찰관을 찾아가게 됩니다.
Was killed. October 22nd, hit and run outside the Corbata Club.
머지않아 알게 된 놀라운 사실, 니코는 코바타 클럽이라 불리는 상류층들의 사교 클럽 앞쪽에 쓰러져 있던 중 음주운전을 하던 클럽의 회원의 차에 깔려 목숨을 잃은 것이었습니다.
I guess there's no point in asking for an invite.
Oh, none at all, sir.
Hey,
You looking for a gardening job?
actually, no, a membership form.
Albert, we got a hedge hopper here. He needs trimming.
조사를 위해 몰래 코바타 클럽에 잠입하려던 중 발각되지만 어쨌든 호락호락하게 제압당하진 않는 과감한 행동파 탐정 말로.
Maybe there's a reason you're unpopular with policemen. Punched, locked up, and almost but not quite charged with accessory obstruction, etc.
It's my manner, Joe.
Yeah, starting to wish you still had your pension. This guy got killed after getting sauced in there. The Corbata Club likes to make it nice. It does not like trouble. From our own chief of detectives to the new ambassador to England. I find it highly unlikely it didn't come up over cream tea that a scumbag had caught a Buick at the front entrance. Why are you looking for this guy?
The lady wanted to find him.
Well, he'll wait until she comes by.
You startled me, Marlowe.
Apologies. Seems to be my day for startling. So, tell me about you, Mr. Peterson, with no embellishments, please.
사건 조사에 대해 전혀 협조하지 않으려는 코바타 클럽, 그리고 말로의 옛 동료마저 쉬쉬하는 니코의 사망 사건. 말로는 이 사건에 보다 큰 비밀이 숨겨져 있음을 예감하곤 캐빈디시, 아니 클레어를 찾아가는데요.
Nico Peterson is dead.
He's pretending. My mother wanted me to view some Azteca horses, you know, the prancing kind. So I was in La Quinteria again, having one of their divine mojitos, when I saw Nico driving down the street. He called himself a collector. Most of all, collected junk. Pretend antiques.
니코의 사건 이후에도 살아있는 니코의 모습을 보았다고 하는 클레어. 조금씩 미궁으로 빠지는 말로의 앞에 또 다른 여인이 나타납니다.
Hello, Mr.
Marlowe.
Oh, of course, I knew that. Richard made a call when you first came in. Dorothy Quincannon. What does my daughter want?
I'm sorry, I only discuss business with my employer, so if you'll excuse me.
클레어의 어머니로서 오랜 기간 할리우드에서 활동했던 도로시 퀸캐넌. 말로는 그녀가 그녀의 딸과 자기 자신의 행적을 쫓고 있음을 직감합니다.
I'm working for a person who thinks that Nico Peterson is still alive. But it wasn't him who got smashed outside the Cabata Club.
Even the teeth were destroyed. And they'd be everywhere.
But that stiff, Peterson, for all intents and purposes, had Peterson's wallet in his pocket. Plus, he was identified at the scene for all intents and purposes.
By who?
The manager of the club, Floyd Hansen, and by the Los Angeles County coroner, who's a member. So, it's nobody's business now but county.
County line runs where?
Bay Canyon Drive.
Right along here.
Oh, Jesus.
자신의 신념을 믿는 탐정 말로. 그는 여지가 없어 보이는 이 사건을 더더욱 적극적으로 파고드는데요.
I'm Floyd Hansen, the manager.
What can I do for you, Mr. Marlowe?
Nico Peterson.
That actually wasn't on the property. That was more on the public road.
Oh, I fully appreciate the distinction. It was an interesting case in Cincinnati. A man was beaten to death, and then he was put in the road, and his head was run over by a tire to obliterate the cause of death.
Mr. Peterson was run down on the road, and the road is not on the property.
코바타 클럽의 매니저 플로이드 헨슨을 찾아간 말로는 그의 화려한 말발로 헨슨을 몰아붙이지만 상류층 전용 클럽의 매니저다운 말발로 맞받아치는 헨슨.
This was a hit and run. And given the road, it was probably a member. Perhaps the driver didn't even know he'd struck anything. His sister was shown as a corpse the next day at the morgue and expressed no doubts.
Where could I find his sister?
Ask the police.
정말 단호박이네요.
Are you keeping evil company?
More often than not.
Because you're going to meet Dorothy Quincannon at the Garden of Allah Hotel at 3. That's in 20 minutes. Dorothy Quincannon.
I have also had the pleasure of Mr. Peterson's company. He was proposing certain investments. But my daughter cannot help but want what she presumes I have.
And you had Mr. Peterson?
That was a presumption, Mr. Marlowe.
다음날 도로시의 초대를 받아 그녀를 만나게 된 말로는 클레어가 니코에게 집착하는 이유가 그녀의 어머니가 먼저 니코를 소유했다라고 클레어가 오해했기 때문임을 듣게 되는데요.
I had another investigator on Mr. Peterson's case. A Seamus, called Seamus, if you can believe.
What did he find?
That besides being prop master at Pacific Pictures, Nico was also a wannabe agent with a client of one, Miss Amanda Toxteth. So, if you find Mr. Peterson, come to me before
Where
you...
would I find Miss Toxteth? Ma'am,
Wait, how dare you?
I'm a little confused. I've already been paid.
You're a detective?
I'm more harmless than I look. What can you tell me about Nico Peterson?
Claire Quincannon supposedly fell for him. The blonde with the terrible mother. And the mother's story. Kept by the ambassador. He even bought the studio for her.
Did Nico have anything to do with Mexico, business out of Mexico?
There's only one business out of Mexico.
탐정 말로는 배우 리암 니슨의 100번째 스크린 개봉작으로 리암 니슨뿐 아니라 다이앤 크루거까지 합세한 호화 캐스팅에 더하여 원작자와의 긴밀한 협업을 통해 스케일은 물론 스토리의 섬세함까지 갖춘 작품입니다. 영국의 셜록 홈즈와 쌍벽을 이루는 탐정계의 아이콘 할리우드의 탐정 말로는 두뇌를 이용한 추리는 물론이고 행동과 액션을 내세운 보다 마초적인 매력을 뽐내는 캐릭터로서 리암 니슨이라는 거의 존재 자체로 장르에 가까운 대배우를 만나 이제 스크린에서 수많은 관객들을 만날 준비를 하고 있습니다.
Fuck Floyd, fuck cops, and fuck you!
I know the lady. She's the punk sister, but ¿dónde está Serena?
Who's Serena?
You know my brother. You probably dumped her.
단서를 위해 니코의 집에 잠입한 말로의 앞에 나타난 그의 여동생, 그리고 세레나라는 사람을 찾고자 니코의 여동생을 쫓으려 하는 괴한들.
Who's Serena? Who's Serena?
You take us to her, or you'll see what happens.
세레나의 단서를 얻고자 니코의 여동생을 지키려던 말로는 되려 당하게 되고 낯선 곳에서 눈을 뜨게 되는데요.
The Lou Hendricks.
Finally, I need no introductions. That you are looking for someone. Tell me who I'm looking for.
Two Mexes who are looking for a broad named Serena.
Serena, a femme of the most delicate shape imaginable. Last seen in the arms of one Nico Peterson. Does that name ring a bell?
A tinkle.
I would very much appreciate a word with our friend Nico if you find him. Nico, in the end, had to avoid everybody, I think.
정신을 잃었던 말로를 데려온 것은 루 핸드릭스. 그는 니코와는 일종의 동업을 했던 자로서 역시나 니코의 행방을 쫓고 있었고 신기하게도 세레나라는 여인에 대해 꽤 많은 것을 알고 있는 눈치였습니다.
It has conspiracy written all over it. I don't think Nico went to a graveyard with a shovel and a lamp looking for a stiff to fit his tuxedo, do you?
The club was in on the conspiracy. But what's the club's interest?
Ask your client.
Hey,
Who hurt you?
Mexicans looking for Peterson.
What were they looking for?
For God's sakes, you tell me.
니코를 둘러싼 거대한 비밀이 서서히 드러나며 클레어에 대한 의혹 역시 커져감을 느끼는 말로.
You haven't once told me why you really want Nico. Your mother also wanted Nico.
She tried to hire you too. She always wants what I want.
자신의 어머니에 대한 묘한 적개심, 열등감을 보이는 클레어를 보며 말로는 그녀가 뭔가를 숨기고 있음을 깨닫고 그 뒤를 미행하게 됩니다.
Is the ambassador here? Yes. So do we call you ambassador now?
Claire, how are you? It's good to see you.
Where's your camera, Mr. Marlowe? Do you have any idea how much that photo would have been worth?
Are they breaking any laws?
Only the laws of attraction. He's old enough to be her father.
클레어가 자신의 어머니의 연인격인 영국 대사와 미래를 하고 있음을 알게 된 말로. 또 얼마 지나지 않아 니코의 여동생이 죽었다는 사실 역시 알게 되며 이제 말로는 니코의 사건이 보다 거대한 세력, 코바타 클럽의 상류층 중에서도 매우 높은 곳에 위치하는 이들이 벌이고 있는 일임을 짐작하게 됩니다.
What is this called?
It's called a Miguel fin. A Mickey fin.
수수께끼의 남자의 사망사고를 둘러싼 충격적인 진실. 이제 이 사건이 사고사를 위장한 것마저 넘어서 할리우드 전체가 엮일지도 모르는 거대한 마약 사건이었음을 추리해내는 탐정 말로.
Girls, boys, heroin, coke. I've given it some thought, and I'd like to fill out an application.
I don't control the place. I'm not the boss.
So who is? Dorothy Quincannon, the ambassador?
How little you know, Mr. Marlowe.
I do.
클레어의 정체마저 의심되는 가운데 이제 위기에 빠진 말로는 사건을 해결할 수 있을까요?
Hey, we both go in there. We're both coming out alive, yeah?
Agreed, Mr. Marlowe.
지금까지 탐정 말로였습니다. 탐정 말로는 지금 극장에서 만나보실 수 있습니다. 재밌게 보셨다면 좋아요와 구독 부탁드립니다.